All right, it's time for your bonus clip of the day. And something that I find hysterical is that no one cared. No one cared about the Cracker Barrel logo until the woke CEO of it said, we can't have this white guy, we can no longer have this lima bean, and we can't have this barrel. Now the whole left is like, you know what? That was actually pretty racist. These people are comical, to say the least. Stand by.
And if you hear this and then go on bend your back, go on bend your knees, baby, shake it to the max.
Yes, it's pretty comical, to say the least. And in every single one of these circumstances, a rich white liberal said, you know what, that's racist. That is racist. They can look at anything. They could look at a cup like this, you know what I mean? Like a plain cup, and say, you know what, that's racist. That is racist. And the left would be all like, you know what, I didn't see it before, and that really shows how racist I am, and I need to fix myself, and I need to cancel everything that cup includes. The colors, the red, the white, the blue, it's all racist. And like I said, every single time that they cancel something, it's a rich white liberal. In this case, it's a rich white female liberal that is woke and wanted to change out a classic brand for something that's just boring, bland. Just it doesn't make any sense. I mean, they canceled Uncle Ben, Aunt Jemima, simply because they were black. That doesn't make any sense at all. Now, when things are interpreted by the left, they always find something racist in it, like that lima bean, right? That lima bean, I'm seeing a lot of people say that it's a whip. Now that is a whip and it's a lynch, right? And that is very interesting that you can interpret it something like that. That kind of says more about you than it does a logo when you see racism in everything. Right now, let's go to the actual meaning behind the Cracker Barrel original logo and see why this is racist, right? So the man in the barrel, the image of the man relaxing by a barrel, represented the old country store experience where people would gather, socialize, and share stories around literal cracker barrels, right? It's not cracker as in white guy, it is a cracker barrel, an actual barrel. Right now, pinto bean shape, the shape behind the name resembling a pinto bean, was a nod to one of the restaurant's original size, further rooting the logo of its origins. Okay, that doesn't seem racist to me. I don't know. All right, now the flourish on the K in cracker was intended to tie the elements of the logo together and was common design element in the calligraphy of many brands, according to Cracker Barrel. Interesting how you can see that and say, well, you know what? The left said it was racist, so it must be. Let me look at every single instance of this logo, everything, scrutinize it, and say, you know what? You crackers are what's wrong with the world, you racist, terrible people. All right, now let's go to one of the most toxic places on the internet, which is TikTok. Let's see what these lovely liberals have to say.
Put the racism back in the logo. Y'all messing up Cracker Barrel. Nobody asked for this, man. That's one place you could leave it just like it is. I need to feel the Confederacy in there, man. Where's Robert E. Lee, man? Let's get these statues back up. The South shall rise again. I don't want this woke crap. What DEI hire made this logo? This is terrible. Robert E. Lee is rolling over in his grave right now. You just want to welcome everybody down to the barrel? Nah, man. You need to feel like you don't belong. That's what makes the edges of the pancake crispy. It's racism.
The new Cracker Barrel CEO woke up and chose violence. She removed the cracker and the barrel from the motherfucking logo. Now, I see nothing wrong with that. DEI, but Black Power, but I only went there. I only went there because there was a possibility I know for a fact I was gonna get pancaked, but there's a possibility I can get called a nigga, and now I'm gonna get some money because I was gonna sue their ass. You ruined everything.
So for the first time in a long time, Cracker Barrel just changed their logo, and I have not seen white people this mad since Disney cast a black woman as the Little Mermaid. Now, as a graphic designer, I personally kind of like the minimal, more simplistic version of the logo that they went with. However, I do understand why some people are upset that they removed both the cracker and the barrel from the Cracker Barrel logo. I think the problem is that Cracker Barrel doesn't fully understand who their own demographic is. I mean, people that actually enjoy eating at Cracker Barrel are the same people who think that mayonnaise is a hot sauce. Cracker Barrel is basically what would happen if you opened up a Buc-ee's during Jim Crow. It's part restaurant, part gift shop, part antebellum museum, and this chaos can't be properly represented with a minimal logo. That's why I took it upon myself to design some new Cracker Barrel logo concepts that accurately represent the store and the people who feel safe eating there. The first concept should feel a lot more inviting to people who only eat chicken that's as white as they are. I kept the color scheme from the original logo, as well as bringing back the original barrel and the cracker, although in a more abstract way. The second concept, which I'm calling Barrels and Bars, also brings back the barrels in a layout that should feel comforting and familiar to anybody who's found true love at a family reunion. So the third concept could be Cracker Barrel's logo for up to 8 years, although there are some people who want this to be the logo for much longer than that. Fun fact, this logo actually didn't make the original cut when I was coming up with concepts. However, it had a very rich friend that bought a social media app and rigged things to get it to the top of the list. With a logo like this, Cracker Barrel could literally traffic children out of their kitchen and not lose a single customer. And look, I'm not saying that you have to be a racist in order to enjoy Cracker Barrel. I'm just saying that if you find their food palatable, chances are you've probably never been invited to the cookout.
Yes, but the people that said, if it's not broke, don't fix it, are the racist ones. Those three people are some of the most racist people I've ever seen, especially that white guy. You know what I mean? He only made that video to get the black like so he can say, hey, I'm one of you guys, check me out. It just goes to show you that you can have a beard and not be manly at all after listening to that guy, right? I mean, that is the same exact character that after Biden got elected, he was like, Biden, reparations for everybody who was never a slave, paid for by people who never owned slaves. And he's the same type of guy that was kissing black people's shoes in public, and apologizing for being white. Now, I'm going to give my 2 cents on this logo change. Do I think it's a good logo change? No, I don't. It's boring. It's bland. Do I care, though? No, absolutely not. I don't care. I never went to Cracker Barrel anyway, and anything that they did to change their logo, anything that they're doing inside their restaurant, it's not going to change my mind. I already thought it was a shitty restaurant. I'm not going there. I'm just not going to, and I never would have in the first place. Now, why am I making this video? Because it's just hilarious that as soon as something changes and a demographic of people are like, well, you shouldn't have changed that, I liked it the way it was. Well, now the left all has to hop on board and call everybody racists for not liking a new logo for a company that they support. That is very interesting to me. It just shows you that these people cannot think for themselves. Now, what about this restaurant's original logo said no black people allowed? And what about the redesign and what they're doing with this restaurant says, you know what, everyone's welcome here, rather than just old white people that like terrible food? Let me know in the comments. Now, another honest opinion of mine here before I let you go, right? And that is, if I enjoy a product, a company, entertainment, I'm going to watch it. I don't care who supports them or what they stand for, what they support. If they have a good product, a good company, good entertainment, it doesn't matter if they endorse Kamala Harris, Joe Biden, Donald Trump. It doesn't matter to me. If I enjoy the product, I'm going to consume it, and I'm not going to let identity politics get in front of me enjoying good products or good entertainment. Now, thank you so much for joining me on this bonus clip on this beautiful, beautiful Friday. Before you leave here, If you could leave a like, a comment, maybe share the video, I wouldn't mind the support. Once I get to 500 subscribers, I'm gonna put out something pretty special as a thank you for your support. So once again, thank you for joining me on this beautiful, beautiful Friday. Now get outside this weekend, make a friend. Don't drink and drive. Enjoy the weather. Stay hydrated, stay motivated, and change your socks. I'll talk to you later. All right, bye.